Ultimately, the people who win in BNI are not just passing go. They are showing up. They're learning the game. They're acquiring assets. They're building strong alliances. And they bring new players to the board. Monopoly, BNI, a lot of similarities. Thanks, Clay. Let's talk about ROI in BNI. I really feel one of the best ways that I can help you understand Palm's report. And I've been in BNI for 25 years. So when that came out, that was new. And I started looking at it and realized that, hey, I'm really close to being 100%. But they weren't even calling it that. This was just a way to check to see how you're doing. It wasn't a device to embarrass you. It was a way to show you what you're putting in. So that way you could figure out ways to improve to get more out, because the structure's there. And so once you really realize the whole game inside of the game, then you will start to get ROI on your BNI. And so that's the reason why I'm going to compare BNI and the Palms report to the game of Monopoly. All right, ready to start? Let's dive right in. Attendance in BNI is really very important. It's how you're visible. It's visibility plus credibility equals profitability. That is the VCP. Well, when I start comparing that to Monopoly, you've got to be there to play. And when you roll, that's kind of like you doing your commercial in BNI. Well, if you're not in the room to roll the dice, you're going to get skipped. My mom used to do this all the time. We would sit down and start playing, and she would get up and go do something else and be like, Mom. And ultimately, we would just skip her, and of course, she lost the game. Very similar to BNI. If you're not showing up, you lose credibility. You're not hearing what your other members need in their commercials, and they're not hearing what you need. And so even when you send subs, it's not the same. You are the person who joined BNI. Ultimately, attendance matters. If you're not present, you're not moving forward. CEUs and BNI, that's all about podcasts and books on BNI that have been written by Dr. Ivan Misner. He has a podcast that he's been putting out for over 20 years. So ultimately, he's well over 950 podcasts that you can download on your phone, or you can just hit it on YouTube and play it while you're driving in your car. So turn your car into your university on wheels. And when you're driving, instead of, technically wasting time, learn. And the stuff that you can learn is going to help you, not just in BNI, but in business and in life. They have so many podcasts on so many different subjects that are really going to help you succeed. Well, this is the same as playing the board game of Monopoly without reading the directions. Or bigger than that, not paying attention to the board and how the board changes throughout the game. How different people buy properties and how those properties start to become scenarios that you should work with or shouldn't work with. Understanding the chance card and community chance. These are all part of Monopoly that if you're not aware of, you're going to lose out. Monopoly and BNI, you can basically learn how it works by one game, by one meeting. But ultimately, if you don't want to waste that 10 years like I did and not get the most out of it, when I say waste, I just really wasn't figuring it out. I wasn't paying attention to the board and how it was changing. It can take you 10 years to learn if you're not plugging in quickly to the ongoing education that's sitting there for you. CEUs will keep you from playing BNI like I did for 10 years on the scenic route. Referrals. So in BNI, referrals is the return on your investment. So you join BNI ultimately to get business, to make money. Well, in BNI, that's why you joined. Most people join because they want referrals, they want to make money, they want to grow their business. That may be their part of the company, as they may be a salesperson for that company, or they may own the company, but they're joining BNI to get referrals. Well, in Monopoly, that's the same as buying properties. So as you start to buy properties, you start to realize that these properties are paying for themselves. And the more properties that you buy, like for instance, you get a monopoly, then you can put houses on them. And so when you get all three colors or all two colors and you have a monopoly, you start putting houses and then hotels. And that's where the referrals start to grow. You get one referral and it can lead to another. I had a restaurant that I got from a BNI member, and this was a franchise that's across the whole United States. We wound up doing 60 of them in this area, and that came from one BNI referral. And that's literally like Monopoly, me putting a hotel on a property. That is the essence of referrals. Without referrals, you're just circling the board and you're expecting to collect $200 at the go, which that's great at the beginning. But if you don't develop your referrals, then eventually that $200 is just not going to be enough. One-to-ones. This is where you build strong alliances, much deeper trust, getting together with your members outside of BNI and getting to know them. What makes them tick? What's special about their business? What do they do that is their sweet spot? What's their expertise? Where are they at? It's really getting to know them well. One-to-ones in Monopoly is like two players, one of them having two reds and an orange, and the other one having two oranges and a red, making a deal and saying, hey, if you give me Tennessee, I'll give you Kentucky. And by the way, got our region represented here, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana. So once you have this is a monopoly. And so this happens inside that game. You work together on strengthening each other. One-to-ones help you compete each other's set, and it helps you basically become a stronger BNI member. Visitors. So in BNI, new people bring new needs, new contacts, new opportunities. A lot of times they'll do business. We actually had a member that said they got more business from visitors than they did from the members. And it was because of that newness. It ultimately is such a pipeline to help your chapter grow, and it's the only way it will grow. Visitors become members. Well, in the game of Monopoly, it's like having a new player. It makes it fun. They bring excitement. They bring newness. They bring a new direction, new ideas. And ultimately, if you're playing with the same people all the time, you're going to stop playing. That is one of the big reasons why you need to bring visitors. People who win in BNI are not just passing go. They're showing up. They're learning the game. They're acquiring assets. They're building strong alliances, and they're bringing new players to the game. BNI and Monopoly are so much alike, and the main difference is in BNI, we're in it for everyone to win, which is the one difference from Monopoly, where ultimately one person's trying to win. But when you help others get what they want in life, you will get what you want in life. Zig Ziglar said that so many years ago, and it's so true. It works. And in essence, it is in line with what BNI's motto is, givers gain. So when you really fully understand why there's 5 main performance categories in the PALMS report, look at those not as maximums, but as really more of a minimum performance to help the other people in your group. It will help you. On BNI Advantage next podcast,